Black moms cannot slack. Black moms cannot slack. Black moms do not have the luxury to slack. Black women don't have the luxury to exist, let alone a black mother doesn't have the luxury to just exist. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. And before you watch this and judge, educate yourself and just open your ears. Just try to listen. We can't just do something without feeling judged. And this is not particularly to black mothers. Black people in general, men, women, people who don't even have kids. If you work in an area where you're the minority, you can't just exist. You can't just exist. You can't just exist. Sooner or later, there's going to be a black joke roaming around and you have to just sit there and act like it doesn't bother you. You have to sit there and be like, oh, I can't act too aggressive, but I also have to get my point across because I don't like that. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. We can't just walk out the house with our hair not done. But then if we try to put a bonnet or do-rag over it, we're ghetto. It is exhausting, y'all. I truly remember as a child being put together 100%. We always had the nicest toys. We always had the nicest clothes. We always were matching. We had to wear our lace ruffled socks with our skippies. We had the linen shirts with the jean hats and the skirts. We had the shearling coats in the winter, pretty floral dresses in the spring and summer. We never wore beads and braids. That was deemed ghetto in my household. We always had relaxers or micro braids with the wet and wavy hair. My mom made sure we never fell off and that we were always put together, especially when we went out in public, because no one could ever say that my mom did not have kids that looked put together. And some of you might say, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? There's nothing really wrong with that. However, it gets to a point where my mom did all of that, and I don't believe that she took care of herself. Even to this day, she's taking care of my grandmother. And I do not want to be like that. And it is okay for me to admit that, because for the longest time I didn't admit that because I didn't ever want to seem like I wasn't grateful for my childhood or anything like that. It took me moving 1,000 miles away from all of my family to realize that, yeah, there's some things that's not right. And there's some things that I do not want to continue to go through my bloodline. And then part of me feels so sorry because I feel like black women, especially back then, were not able to allow their children to slack. Part of me feels so sorry though. Black women were never really allowed to slack when it came to their children without being judged. Back then and in today's society, black people in general, but black women, black mothers cannot slack. Our best is not good enough. We have to go above and beyond to prove that we are the best or we are worthy of our counterparts. And I know it could be uncomfortable to hear. It could be defensive to hear. There is truth in it. There is truth in it. I remember coming across a video on TikTok where it was this white woman who had her children and her house was filthy. And I'm not saying filthy from my observant. That's what it said in the title. And she was doing a clean with me video. And the amount of likes, the amount of interaction, the amount of saved, the amount of just, oh my gosh, praising in the comment section, it makes me wonder if this was a black woman, would it be the same thing? In my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think that it would be the same. I don't think that it would be consumed as, oh, that's right, in a positive way. Yeah, clean your house. It gets hard sometimes. I don't think so. I also don't think if this was a black woman, other black women would praise her. I just think that it would be a lot of negativity. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody called CPS, tried to find out where she lived to get her kids taken away. I'm not speaking for the parents who do slack, don't provide households to their families, parents who neglect their children. They don't provide a safe household. They don't provide a roof over their head. They don't feed them. They don't groom them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones who do show up for their kids the ones that are constantly there, the ones that work our butts off, but feel like we cannot slack because of today's society and or from how we were raised. That's what I'm talking about, because it goes hand in hand. I feel like I can't be slacking on my children because of how I was raised. My mom had us up early in the morning, making our beds, making breakfast. We had to do chores. We had to make sure our hair was done. If we had our hair done, oh my gosh, that was like a 2-day process. We had to make sure we were put together. I remember wanting to go outside and play as a child. You know, the one thing my mom told me, better not get dirty. It's like that type of reaction and parenting trickle down to me. It's been a challenge to break some of those habits because I do not want to have my children raised in that type of environment. Because although my mom was put together, she had us put together, there would be moments that my sister and I would literally get in trouble simply because we're laughing and joking and being kids. It was like suddenly everything became too uptight, too put together, to a point where we can't even breathe loud. That is not what I want. That is what I'm traumatized from. So not only do I face trying to break that habit, I'm also trying to break society's views on Black women and mothers of being lazy if we go outside and our children are not put together, or they don't look clean, or we're sitting down at a restaurant and I got to make sure they're behaving well. I talked about an experience that I had with my husband, and this is when our girls were like younger. Macy wasn't even born yet. There was this white woman that was sitting across from us with her husband in a booth at a restaurant, and she just kept staring at us. She just kept staring. I let it go. I wasn't like really paying attention to her. I could just see her at the side of my eye just staring at us. And then she got out of her booth and she walked over to us and she said, "Your children are so well behaved." And then she proceeded to give them $1. One, I denied that dollar. Two, I know a lot of you may say, well, what's wrong with that? That's a compliment. That's a compliment. Let me tell you this. I don't know if you have, but I certainly have never had a Black woman come up to me and say my children are so behaved and then gave them $1. Never. Never. I've always had that experience single-handedly only with white women. Older white women, to be specific. It also makes me think, what if one of my girls started crying? What if she became upset and showed emotions and started crying? Would she still say the same thing? Would she still have came over? I wonder. Because to me, bad behavior is subjective, right? To me, that's subjective. You could be walking by a child and their mother in a store, and that child is screaming, that child is on the floor, that child is very upset emotionally, and think, oh my gosh, that child is bad. If I was them, I would beat them. You don't even know if that child has autism. You don't know if that child has any type of neurodivergent spectrums or nothing. You don't know. You don't know. So what is bad behavior? We need to educate ourselves. We need to educate ourselves. And this is off topic, but we really do need to educate ourselves because we don't know what anyone is going through. We don't know before we judge. Okay. But as Black women today and Black mothers, I feel like we have a lot on our backs. I feel like we have to obtain our sanity way more than other women because we are judged way harsher than other races. And I want to end that. I want to see more Black mothers being able to stay home, be relaxed, hire help around the house, order groceries. You do not have to always carry everything on your back. You don't have to. Just because it's been like that way for years and years after generation does not mean it has to keep going with you. You have the capability to rewrite your bloodline. Things don't have to be the way they've been for years. I am a mother. I am a wife, and those are my titles. However, I'm Brittany. I have so much that I can do. I have so much that I love to do. I have so much that I want to do. I have so much work that needs to be done still. I'm not through. It gets hard juggling the two. I get it. Trying to find your own identity while also raising young women to find theirs. I have an amazing husband who's an amazing father. And yes, they do help us, right? However, I don't believe that mom guilt hits fathers like it does us. So I am working on building myself, breaking the generational curses of my bloodline while still maintaining some of the attributes that I had from being a child. Because to be honest with you, I still hold some of those traditions that I had when I was a child. You know what I mean? I still hold those nostalgic traditions because those are the things I do want to take from my childhood. However, the other stuff, I'm gonna leave at the door. The first step I took was moving 1,000 miles away from my entire family and just growing my roots here in Georgia with my husband on our own. And it's been like that. And I'm proud. I'm happy. I'm happy to say our household has been built brick by brick off of the bones of my husband and I alone. I'm proud of that. Okay. I love it. I love it. I don't care what anyone has to say. I love this. I love having the house that we purchased last year. I love having the dog, the kids, the picket fence, even though our fence is going to be brown picket fence. Okay. I don't mind. I love that. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And I also love that I have so much more to do. I have so much more to achieve. I have so much more to work on. And I don't feel guilty. I don't want to feel guilty about working on those things. Black women deserve rest too. They deserve rest, and they deserve rest now. They don't need to wait until their kids are grown and out to college and out of the house. We want to start now. We deserve that. Yes, my mom taught me how to keep my kids together and to raise a good household, but she also taught me that rest isn't an option. And if you got too much on your mind, you start cleaning, you start rage cleaning instead of talking to a therapist. You start to get irritated that the sound of your kids' giggles is infuriating you. That is not what I want. I feel bad for us sometimes. Black women deserve so much more. And I don't want us to feel like we can't have that in today's society, especially when everything is on social media and in the news. It's always so negative. It's always so depressing. Close the phone. Turn off the TV. Go outside and live your life. I told you guys all the time that I listen to Les Brown, and the main thing that I've learned from him, a dog can't be anything but a dog. Cat can't be anything but a cat. A human can be anything they want to be. Just get up and choose. You make a choice every single day without even knowing it. You make a choice every single day. No matter what society says, we're here and we're here to stay. So get comfortable or get uncomfortable, whichever way. I don't care. Start choosing you. Show up for your children. Of course, we're there at the PTO meetings. We're there at the book fairs. We're there volunteering. We're there reading books to the class. We're there at the games. We're there. But also be there for you too. Go get your hair done. Go get your nails done. Go have a drink. Go to brunch. Go and be happy. It does not matter if you didn't see your granny do it, your mama do it, your auntie do it. It does not matter if that's not how you were raised. Start new. Start raising you. Doesn't matter how old you are. You're going to have to redo this over again, okay? You're going to have to start new, start over. I feel like the only way for us to get out of this idea of Black women not being able to slack is start putting ourselves in spaces where no one expects us. Oh yeah, I can do this too. I could be here too. I've made time to be here. I don't have to carry it all on my back. Actually, I'm okay. We deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. If you're showing up 110%, leave the 10% for yourself. At least start with that. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it. I realized that I had kids young, and so that has made me raise my children while I'm still raising myself. However, I'm not about to just sit here and go crazy trying to be all that I can be. This is not the army, baby. I am going to make sure that I am putting an effort into myself the way I put in effort into being a wife, the way I put into effort in raising my children and being a mom. I hope you guys really took something from this podcast episode today. I want you to know that you're loved. You're doing a damn good, fantastic job raising them kids, raising that kid, raising your children. Keep going, but take care of yourself. And it is okay to say no sometimes. If you guys watched my last vlog, then you know that I had a car chat about this topic, and I kind of just wanted to save the rest of it for an actual episode, because this topic I feel like I can go on and on and on and on about, and I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. And honestly, y'all, when I sit down and I get on this mic, I watch my videos back and I'm just like, oh, dang, I should have said this, I should have said that, I should have said this. But this type of avenue, this lane that I'm creating for myself has taught me to like be more comfortable with having a conversation and getting to the point and explaining myself. Because when I'm vlogging, I'm just vlogging, right? I'm just showing you my regular life. But I know that I am way more than just being a vlogger. I have so much more creativity about myself, and I do not mind stepping into uncomfortable spaces, having hard conversations. As cringy as it is, looking back at myself and watching my videos, I'm proud of myself. I'm truly proud of myself. Happy we're getting to talk about these type of topics, and I have so much more to talk about. If you guys listen to this podcast episode and you enjoyed it and you have not subscribed yet to my channel, make sure you subscribe. We will be back with more chats. I promise you that. I love you guys all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.